Hello and welcome to this unboxing. Now, as you know, this is a very unusual thing for this channel. Don't really do unboxings ever. So this is the first one, but we'll just look at the new Fujifilm X-H2s as it's now available in the United Kingdom. So if we begin the unboxing, we'll just have a look at what comes in the box. And as we can see, the usual Fujifilm Connect pamphlet, the manual for the X-H2s, another little set of leaflets. Now let's go down the side and have a look at what's in here first. Put that to the side, and these as well, and we'll have a quick look at what's in the box. So we have the standard USB-C cable. Now this is nothing particularly interesting. Fujifilm USB-C cable. There we are. We have the Fujifilm strap. We have the charge unit. So this is the wall wart. With the battery for the camera. Now that's the same battery as the X-T4 and the GFX SH100S. We have a European adapter for that. We have what looks to me as a US adapter for the wall wart. The European, US. We have the Australian version of that. We also have the UK version, and we have a cable holder for the HDMI cables, so that just holds the cable in place nice and securely. And that's that side of the box. And finally, let's reach back in. So if we put these back quickly and move these off to the side, we can reach back into the box and we can have a look at the actual camera. So let's take off this. Quick look at here. And put this off to the side now. And let's look at the camera. This is the new Fujifilm X-H2s. Now what I'm noticing is the back of the camera does look fairly familiar. It's not quite a GFX 100s. You still have that D-pad, you see, so that's missing off here, but there's still a D-pad, but the layout still seems fairly familiar. Obviously the switch for focusing is here on the 100s. That's not available here. And at the top, there's the GFX 100s. Actually looks fairly familiar, except it's not quite the same yet again. We're looking at the switch for movies. That's actually on a dial here. So here's the dial, and that's the movie switch. And then we have the screen and the buttons to the left of the screen, sorry, to the right of the screen. They're looking a bit different as well. So it's not really matching the 100s. And that focus button, obviously, focus switch has actually become a button now. So if we look at the, let's put this back quickly, and we look at the X-T4, now that focus switch is right here on the X-T4, and very handy and very easy to use. Now, as I understand it, the button actually activates a menu, and you can go up and down on the menu, so a bit more to do to get through your focus modes. Now, your eye focus is this button here, and you've got a nice quick button for video recording here, which is, you know, pretty good, and it does emphasize the fact that this has actually got some really good video functions. Video functions, that's the word we're looking for here. Now, that video button is actually activated in any mode, as I understand it, so you know that's not going to affect be affected by whether you're in aperture priority or any other mode. As soon as you hit that, regardless if you're in video or not, it will actually activate the video mode. Now, what I'm noticing here is these little leather bits that cover the D-rings to hold the strap have been replaced with these little flush mounts. I'm not sure if I like that or not, but you know, it is what it is. Now, feeling the buttons, these don't click. Unlike the X-T4 and the GFX 100, you could push in these buttons. These aren't clickable, so that's a big change. I don't know if that's for sort of longevity of those dials or not. The buttons on the front, have a very different texture. So this one feels like a classic X. No, this feels very different, and they do feel very odd. As you go through the buttons, you notice they have different level of sponginess to them. Some of them, they feel as though they've been deliberately made to feel different on the click. The D-pad here does feel exactly like the X-T4. The back button, the feeling of the pushing is very different. That Q button feels very different as well from the rest of the buttons on this, and you can definitely see they've gone out of their way to make this more tactile, making the buttons feel different. Now let's open up the screen. It's got the same articulating screen as the X-T4, which is great. It's got a little cap here for the connection to the fan, and it's got the standard cap there for connection to the grip, which is great. But I am noticing 2 screw holes here, and there's no caps for those, so that's a bit, well, a little bit ugly if I'm honest. Now the ports, full HDMI, which is well known about, microphone, headphone. Now I'm noticing that some of these are on, you know, this is on like a little rubber bit that can be moved quite easily. However, these ports are actually on hinges, so that's definitely a design choice. I'm not sure if I agree with that or not. I can see that getting in the way occasionally, these hinges. And so is the USB cover at the bottom. Now, I'm not sure about that personally, but we'll see. On the opposite side, we have another flap, and that one again is rotatable. It's on a little rubber. You can move that around, a rubber hinge. And that one's for the remote. And we have probably the most different thing that's going to cause some contention is the 2 slots. So we've got an SD card slot, classic. Put the SD cards in, no issue. And we've got a CF Express Type B. Now these are particularly expensive in the UK. It's sort of at this moment in time running for about £200 for 128 gigabytes, which is a little bit costly, but it is what it is. Now size wise, there's not a lot in it. It does pretty much seem, the bodies seem very close. However, the grip is more comfortable. You do notice that straight away. This grip does feel more comfortable in the hand. So that's another upside. Well, I'm going to be using this camera this week to do some recording of a play and of sports day. So I'll let you know how that goes and hopefully give you another review on this weekend, and go over some of the features and how I actually got on with the menus and the additional software and so on. And possibly provide some sample photos, obviously not of people, we don't do that, but just so you can get some idea of the quality behind the sensor and the difference between the X-T4 and the new X-H2s sensor. Thank you very much. I hope you have a good week. I look forward to seeing you soon.